What's going on, YouTube? Gonna look at some trucks today. Favorite subject, love trucks. Some new Greenlight castings, and also I found an M2 that we released. So we're gonna take a look at some trucks. First on deck, this is on the Mecum auction series from Greenlight. They keep releasing these pretty evenly. This is series 3, so it's a newer series, and part of that series was their new casting, their Ford pickup casting. This happens to be a 77. Very nice looking. It's an F100 Explorer. We'll take a look at the package real quick. Let's see how that looks. So, the truck was cool. I got this locally, found it. Didn't have to get it online. Also, it was good because I wanted to see what the truck looked like, and also was curious to see if it really was a new short bed, and it was. They did a new short bed, so it's not based on the old one. Just the casting real quick, or the packaging options on the truck. So highly optioned for 77, and it's cool. It's a real treat. It's a real vehicle. Sold for a lot of money as well. So trucks are definitely going up in value, and you know, a good clean example, original, you know, they're starting to get worth something. Even if it's a Ford truck, you know, not Chevy. Seems like the Chevys are a little bit higher. But anyway, let's take a look here. So we got this Ford Explorer package. We got a lot of tampo work. And this was a Ford option truck. Very cool. It's a Ranger, so it's going to have a lot of equipment, or the Explorer, excuse me. Not a Ranger. Let's see, the Explorer badge would be on the back there. This is the short bed, the new one. Deep. It's got a stake pocket on the front too. It's got the work done. So we got the tampo work for the rain guard. We got F100 badging right there. So very good stuff. You can see the grill's done good. You got the Mecum plates on there. And it also has the stamp on the windshield. It says Mecum. I think that's a sold sticker, I think. White walls, again, a little crooked. But it does have the correct Ford wheel covers. So that's very nice. And really, these wheel covers are going on a number of different Ford products if you wanted to wheel swap this thing. Similar wheels. They're going to be making the Ford van. Greenlight's coming out with a Ford van from the 70s, I think, so that'll be cool. Hopefully they make a club wagon too with the windows in it. But yeah, 351 V8 truck, automatic, air conditioning, power brake, all that stuff is on this truck. It's got the really good tailgate. Fixed tailgate, no opening features on this one. Painted taillights, chrome bumper, and serial number 1649. So decent. Nothing too low production. So happy with this truck. It'll look good with the others. Very, very happy. So there is our Ford F100 Explorer. It's a 2-wheel drive V8 truck. Alright, let's look at something else. This is a 4-wheel drive GMC. Very excited to have this because I have others. Or I have one other, I think. I don't have too many others. I might have an extra in the horde somewhere else. But loose, I got the green one. So this is a 58 Stepside 4-wheel drive, and by 58, you could get 4-wheel drive through the dealer, through the factory. You didn't have to get the truck and then put it on later, or when it was at the dealer. It can come from the factory in 4-wheel drive. There was a relationship with NAPCO, which was Northwestern Auto Parts Company. They're out of Minneapolis. You know, after the war, there was a big need for 4-wheel drive in the civilian and for emergency services, things like that, contractors, pipelines, things like that, railroad companies. A lot of these trucks are in need. People got the love of 4-wheel drive, you know, after the war. It was very useful, and they could scale it down. They weren't having to use heavy trucks as such for 4-wheel drives anymore. So now we had this. Very, very cool. And the Stepside, so it's got the black rims. I think it looks really good. It's got a kind of a tan over cream two-tone. A lot of times it would be three-quarter ton 1-ton chassis, but by this time frame, you could get them on a half-ton. But again, it was more common for a four-wheel drive to be on a heavier truck. M2's got a metal base, very nice. It's got the transfer case molded in. Got your solid axle in the front. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, it's got those nice beefy tires. I really like M2 four-wheel drive tires. Very, very nice in scale. In 58, GMC had that script on the tailgate. It's got painted tail lights. You can see the weather stripping is painted on the rear window. And these wide window cabs, I think they were rarer than the 5-window, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was the 5-window. But they made 2 types of rear window setups, or actually 3, I think, because really they had a small one. They had this big wraparound one, and I think they had the 2 on the side and the one in the middle. But that might have went away in 57, 58. You got to look at that. But a lot of different kind of window setups on that. Of course, you got the same treatment on the front window too with the black weather stripping. So it's a good truck, and there's not a lot of alignment issues on the panels, which sometimes happens with them too. So I'm excited about that. Let's take a look at the tampo work. There's GMC done very nicely, and I think personally I like GMC mid to late 50s trucks a little bit better than Chevy, just because they had I think I like that grille design better, but that's my personal preference. It's just kind of neater looking. This is chrome, but a lot of these trucks would have had this painted, usually white. Let's take a look at the script on the side. This denotes the V8, which we'll take a look at in a minute. Simulated small block V8 on this. You can see in there. So some detail. It's not bad. There's a course report. It's kind of looking good there too. And then it opens up. It's got a black interior in it. Again, panel gaps are good on this. You can see the steering wheel. Tire tread detail. Again, I love it. It looks that vintage four-wheel drive tire. You know, those little bias ply kind of tires that they had. Those heavy tire. So, cool truck. Very, very excited again to have this. And let's take a look at its older brother now. That's been in the collection for a few years. I think this release from M2 has been a little bit ago, but really cool because it has the matching color dash in it, and it has white seats. So pretty much the same casting cab, but it's got a fleet side bed on it. So I like having both now. Very cool. This almost looks like a forestry color, but it's a little bit different green. There's the tail lights there. Very car-esque on that. And that was on purpose in the 50s. They were trying to, again, market this truck like it was, had car-like features, you know. Trying to market them as more comfortable. So very, very cool. Very fun to have both of them. And I have a fleet side and a step side, so I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. There they are. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Bigfoot. Let's have Bigfoot come out on the stage here. Let's back this up. I got that. I brought that also to be in the background since I had all these four-wheel drives out here. My little Wagoneer Jeep. It's like an Ertl Tommy, Johnny Lightning casting, whatever, wherever you ended up finding. This was actually the loose ones that you get at the tractor store. But yeah, that one wasn't carded or anything. It was just one of the ones where they had the little tag on it and you just scanned it. Alright, so let's have old Bigfoot come out. We got Bigfoot. Bigfoot number 5. This is the one that they put the 10-foot tall tires on. This was actually the heaviest pickup truck in the world because all loaded up with the chassis and the tires. This thing was this thing was 28,000 pounds, and this also had a variant that had these tires doubled up, so they had dualies, and that was like 38,000 or something. I don't know. It's like 2,000 pounds of tire, so it's a ton of tire basically. These tires were made by Firestone, but not for this. It was actually a road train, as they called them. Late 40s, 50s. U.S. military had to do operations in the Arctic Circle, and they needed basically a vehicle that could be going across the landscape without sinking, and with being able to go over, you know, large crevices and different levels of ice pack and all sorts of terrain. So Firestone came up with this for the U.S. military, and the military made this vehicle. Very, very many of these tires, they retired them. They were kind of costly to use and etc. So they retired them, went to surplus. So a lot of the guys in four-wheel drive land decided to use this. This was on when they put it on this truck, which is the second generation, even though this is Bigfoot 5. This concept from Bigfoot actually came out in '86, and they had the '86 Ford F150 body, but this is a later '90s, because this body style, as you can see on this Ford, came out basically, I think it was, 92 was when I think that front end came out, 93. So something like that had its second generation. This is kind of the truck that's sitting outside Bigfoot headquarters now, in this body. So this is kind of the current one. They're going to also have a retro one coming out too, which the Tampo is going to have the yellow and orange striping on the side, so that's going to be cool. But this is how it looks, and they even have the cool visor on the top. So look at that. Very nicely detailed visor, very thin. It's got the Bigfoot colors, of course, and it rolls perfect. Very, really nice. This is all rubber, nice soft rubber. So for retail, the way the truck is supposed to retail, I mean, $5, $6, $7, $8, whatever it is. I mean, there's a lot of truck here for that kind of money, and this is a cool thing. Hopefully I can find another one. The only thing I had to fix on it, which I didn't see on a lot of other trucks, either online or in other people's collections when they take pictures, is this was leaning on mine. There's 3 chassis to this truck. There's one chassis for the wheels, then this middle part, and then there's a third part that actually goes into the body itself, like a traditional plate chassis that you'd see on diecast cars. So there's 3 pieces to this. Well, one of them was misaligned, and the poor thing was doing this to me. So the body was all crooked. So I took it apart and I trued it up as best I could. I think I got there. I mean, there's a little lean to it, but not bad. And you can see how well it rolls. There's no flashing on these tires whatsoever. So the molding process is done very nicely. You can see here, look at that. And there's the chassis. This has a really big number on it. It's 1192 on this. So they're going to make a few of these. Let's take a look at the tampoing. So basically what I gather, it was a fairly mundane. This is before Bigfoot and other monster trucks were going through to the tubular chassis. They were still using a more rigid type setup. This had like 16 shocks on it, adjustable, and it also had the 5-ton axles as a C6 Ford automatic that was built up, of course, and then you had the 460 Ford in it. So I mean, it wasn't a crazy setup. This was not really for competition. This is more for exhibition. They'd use this to show around and kind of show off with it, but they really weren't using competition. It would be too slow. These tires are enormous and very heavy, so it would be kind of a poor choice to go racing or to try to do timing with it. But it would crush anything, basically, so it was cool to look at. And it's got all the cool livery on it. It's got the Summit, it's got the Bigfoot on there, it's got the other Bigfoot, which I thought was awesome. Let's take a look at that real quick. Look how cool that is. Headman headers, it's got all the contingency stickers, trick flow, all that stuff. So, and you can see the tamping on the tires is perfect. I just love it. Even the tire detail, they have all the bolts on there, painted white. They got the hub blacked out in the center. So, very, very happy with this acquisition. Just really cool. And this is the first time I saw Greenlight's new Ford truck casting, because they're going to do the F-150 Lightning. They're going to do all sorts of trucks. This is a long bed, but the Lightning, they'll have this kind of tooled up with a short bed. Even the air deflector on the front, or the bug shield, I mean, that thing is like a piece of plastic painted black. It's thin. I mean, it looks so to scale, and so does the headlights and the grill. So when these come out in regular civilian guys, these are going to be good castings too. Very, very happy with that. Look at that chassis. Yeah, it's a funny truck. And just to see, you know, regular 44-inch tire Bigfoot, not a 66-inch. That's what kind of the old school. And they'll have more Bigfoots coming, but fun to have all the different ones. I need to get one of these carded though, because that was the one I remember when I was little and I'd watch those trucks on television. I went to a few monster truck shows. It was great. And I remember this one would be around, and the Ford Aerostar van with the tank tread. I remember that too. So very nostalgic stuff. You know, really, really fun to watch. So I'm glad to have it in scale. I remember having the Hot Wheels one where you could take the tires on and off and snap them in. I remember that too. So yeah, very good stuff. 4-wheel drives today. Hope you enjoyed it. And we got more to come, because really there's a lot of cool castings. We got the new 90 Caprice that's on the NYPD livery. So we're going to look at that. That's coming. So we got a lot more to come. And hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, subscribing. Till next time.